Good day, everyone. I am hoping that you are in your very best condition to listen and to understand our second lesson for the 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world. Our lesson 2 is all about genres. But before we get into the genres, let us define first what is the meaning of 21st century literature. So, on the slide, it refers to a literary work created within the last decade. So, it means that all literatures or literary texts produced within the last decade. So if it's 2024 today, up until 2014, all of the literary pieces published during that time is called or referred to as 21st century literature. Additionally, 21st century literature is written by contemporary authors, which may deal with current themes and issues. So, as you all know, 21st century literature focuses more on technological advancements or technological culture. That's why most of its themes heavily depend on technology or digitalization. Also, it often breaks traditional writing rules. So, for example, it doesn't really follow the structure that we had in mind in traditional genres or literary pieces. If there is literature, of course, there would be readers. So, how would we define 21st century reader? So, they are the people who learn through the use of technology. So, for example, you as students or as 21st century students, you are also 21st century readers because you are being taught with the use of technology. So, as you have observed, siguro, most of the teachers right now or sa kasalukuyan, they are not really using the traditional instructional materials. Even me, kung makikita nyo po or kung mapapansin nyo, hindi naman ako gumagamit ng Manila papers, ng mga cartulinas when we were discussing. We heavily depend on the use of technological devices such as laptop, TV. So, yun na po yung ginagamit natin currently. 21st century readers are also called as digital natives dahil po lumaki na kayo sa era na marami ng technologies na available. And siguro hindi na kayo nag-start dun sa cellphone na 3210, yung mga di-keypad pa na cellphone. Most of you, siguro po ang kinalakihan ng cellphones are touch screens and you are very known or you are very familiar in navigating and interpreting the internet or the technologies that you use. That's why you are called digital natives. Additionally, you are very good with literacy skills. So ano po ba yung literacy skills? We have 3 R's, arithmetic, reading, and writing. So those were the first literacy skills. But as a 21st century reader, you also need to have technological abilities. So ano po ba yung technological abilities na tinutukoy natin? We have 3 specific examples. So first one, if you know how to use the keyboard, if you know how to type using the QWERTY keyboard, you have literacy skills and technological abilities. Additionally, if you know how to navigate the internet, if you know how to surf, to search for information in the internet, you know how to open Facebook accounts, then you have also technological abilities. Also, if you know some, even if not all, if you know vocabulary words that involves technological terms or technological speak, then you are qualified to be a 21st century reader. So, ayun po yung definition natin for the readers as well as for the literature. Moving on now to the genres. Here are the 12 21st century literature genres. We have illustrated novel, DJ fiction, graphic novel, manga, doodle fiction, text talk novels, chick lit or chick literature, flash fiction, creative nonfiction, science fiction, blog, and hyper poetry. So these are all the 21st century literary genres, and we will talk about more on the differences of each literary genres because since 21st century often breaks the traditional structures of the different literary genres, mahirap i-identify. Because later on, when I discuss this, mapapansin ninyo na most of the genres are magkakamuka. They have a lot of similarities. Kaya po ang gagawin natin is we will identify what are the distinguishing features of each genre para madali niyong matukoy. Ano ba yung pagkakaiba-iba nila? Pag nakabasa kayo ng isang 21st century lit, malalaman nyo agad kung alin yung genre niya dito sa 12 na to. So let us start first with illustrated novel. So for the definition, illustrated novels is a story or a narrative told through words complemented by illustrated images. 50% of the narrative is presented without words. So this is a picture book. Yun lang yun. Illustrated novels depend on images para ikwento yung story or narrative na meron yung book na yun. So, pwede pong sa isang page, purong picture lang po yung nakalagay. On another page, purong picture lang rin. Sabi din dito, the book may have words, pero hindi siya necessary para magets mo yung story. So, kapag tinignan mo lang yung pictures, kailangan mong sundan yung pictures in sequence para makomprehend mo ng buo yung story. So, hindi ka magdadepende sa words to understand, but on the pictures. So, yun po yung illustrated novel. There are two specific examples of an illustrated novel. We have The Invention of Hugo Cabret and The Arrival by Sean Tan. So, yan po yung examples ng illustrated novel. Next naman is we have digifiction. It is also known as triple media literature. So, ano po ba yung tatlong media na tinutukoy? So, in this type of genre, it should appear in the form of a book, a movie or video, and an internet website. So, meron siyang tatlong forms. So, one example of this is you have a physical copy of the book. So, meron kang kopya, binili mo sa National Bookstore, you have the physical copy. Now, in the middle of reading, in the middle of the story, nakalagay doon, go to this specific link to follow or to read the next part of the story. So, kapag tinype mo sa phone mo yung link na yon, may mapupuntahan kang website, and then dun sa loob ng website na yon, merong movie or video na nagpapatuloy ng kwento ng story or ng daloy ng story. Now, after watching the video, pwedeng nakalagay doon na you can now go back to the book and read page, ganon. So, once you get back to the book, the story will continue. So, yun po yung digifiction. So, ang point lang naman nito, hindi mo maiintindihan yung buong story if you will not interact with the book, with the movie or the video, as well as the internet website. So, yun po yung digifiction. Sabi din dyan, the readers must engage in navigating, reading, and viewing in all three forms to comprehend the full story. So, yan lang din po yung in-explain ko kanina sa example natin. What are the examples of digifiction? We have Skeleton Creek and Level 26. Another example of digifiction that you may be familiar with is Wattpad. So, siguro naman, meron pong familiar pa sa inyo sa Wattpad. So, what is Wattpad? It is a cellphone application na nag-aalaw po for people to write their own books, e-books, electronic books, as well as they are allowing people to read kung ano man yung mga books na na-publish doon sa site nila or sa application nila. So, bakit siya example ng digifiction? Because there are some Wattpad books or Wattpad stories that have been published already. So, yung mga published na book na yon, there are parts of the book na nasa online na kailangan nilang basahin. Meron naman pong specific videos na kailangan nilang panoorin. Some of the videos may contain parts of the story. Some of the videos or audio recordings ay para po sa music habang nagbabasa sila ng story. So, yun po yung sa Wattpad. That's why it is an example of a digifiction. Next genre, our third genre is graphic novel. Sabi dito, these are narratives told in comic strip formats and published as a book. It tells a story using a combination of words and pictures in a sequence across the page versus illustrated fiction. So, this is the main difference between the two. Kasi 'di ba sabi natin, in illustrated fiction, there are a lot of pictures. Dito din po sa graphic novel. The difference is, if there is a picture, dapat meron siyang words. Dito po sa graphic novel. Sa illustrated fiction, pwede siyang may picture, pwede siyang walang words. Pero pagdating sa graphic novel, it is or it should have captions. Kung hindi naman po caption, meron siya dapat na speech bubble or speech balloon na meron pong dialogue ng characters. So, yun yung requirements in graphic novel and that's what makes it different sa illustrated fiction. So, ano pong examples natin or example natin dito for graphic novel? We have The Best of Archie Comics. It is written by John Goldwater and illustrator Bob Montana. So, kung mapapansin nyo po dito sa second picture or the picture on the right, meron siyang panels. So, yung panels na yan yung mga frames na meron na may picture sa loob. Tapos, bawat panel, kung mapapansin ninyo, meron siyang different pictures na nagtetel na ng story. But aside from the pictures, we have yung mga speech bubbles or speech balloons na mayroong dialogues. So, sabi nga natin sa graphic novel, for the readers to understand fully the story, yung graphic novel ay gumagamit ng both pictures and words sa pantay na bilang. Okay po? So, that is for graphic novel. Next naman, we have manga. So, ano po ang manga? It is the Japanese word for comics. Sabi din dyan, it is used in the English-speaking world as a generic term for all comic books and graphic novels originally published in Japan. Meron din pong mga American artists na gumagawa ng manga-style comics but their products are called Amerimanga. So, ano pong pinagkaiba ng manga with graphic novel? So, some of you may say na, ma'am, yung manga po, hindi siya colored. Yung graphic novel po can be colored or black and white. So, to correct yung ganyang perception with manga, there are a lot of modern mangas na recently published lang na meron na pong color. So, ibig sabihin wala ng restrictions sa kulay, pagkukulay po ng manga. Now, ano pong main difference nila? Manga is a word for graphic novels published in Japan. So, ibig sabihin po, kailangan na-publish siya sa Japan. So, kung ano man yung mga comics, kung ano man yung mga drawing na mukhang manga na publish outside Japan, hindi siya tinatawag na manga. It is just called comics or graphic novel. But if it's published in Japan, that is the time that we will call it manga. Okay po. Additional pala, trivia, when you are reading a manga, you need to start reading from left to right. Okay. Ay, hindi. No. From right to left. Nalito din si ma'am. Unlike sa mga regular or western na comic books or graphic novels, nag-start po sila sa left. Ganun po ang pinagkaiba ng dalawa. What are the different variations for manga? So, we have shonen, shoujo, seinen, josei, and kodomo. So, kapag sinabi nating shonen, ito po ay mga manga intended for readers na lalaki. So, sino pong lalaki yan? Yung mga teenagers na lalaki po. So, these are the examples, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. Next naman, syempre kung meron pang lalaki, meron din pang babae, and that is called shoujo. So, kapag naman po teenager na girls, ito po yung tawag sa mga mangas na para sa kanila. So, what is the example? Sailor Moon. Third naman, so syempre kung meron para sa mga teenagers, meron din po para sa mga adults. So, yung men's manga naman po is called as seinen. So, one example of a seinen manga is Akira. And for the women naman or adult na babae, josei naman yung tawag ng para sa kanila. So, two examples of josei manga is or are Loveless and Paradise Kiss. Last naman, syempre kung meron para sa matatanda, meron para sa teenager, meron para sa mga bata, and that is called Kodomo manga. So, examples of Kodomo is Doraemon and Hello Kitty. So, this doesn't have any regards with gender. Basta bata ka, pwede ka magbasa ng kahit na anong manga intended for children. Moving on to our fifth genre, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, we have doodle fiction. So, it is a literary presentation where the author incorporates doodle writing, drawings, and handwritten graphics in place of the traditional font. Doodles are simple drawings or random shapes and lines that may or may not have concrete representational meanings. So, define muna natin what is doodle ha. So, pag sinabi nating doodle, ito po yung mga very, very simple one-line drawing or mga shapes na pwedeng magkaroon ng meaning or pwede ding wala lang, drawing lang. Okay po. So, in terms of the doodle fiction, yung genre, sabi po dyan, ang focus natin in doodle fiction is handwriting. So kapag nakita niya na yung isang literary text or literary piece na mayroong pagsusulat ang author, nag-drawing yung author dyan, merong mga doodles, yan po ay automatically doodle fiction. So one thing na gusto kong i-highlight dito is yung hindi paggamit ng traditional font. So gaya nga po ng sabi ko, once na makita niyong may handwriting ang author, kapag sinulat niya po yung nilalaman ng text, that is doodle fiction na. Hindi siya gumagamit ng mga traditional fonts such as Arial, Times New Roman. So, hindi sila gumagamit ng ganon. Rather, they are using their own handwriting sa pagsusulat po ng content ng libro. So, there are two examples of doodle fiction. First one is The Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. So, kung mapapansin nyo po, if you will look at the page or sample page ng Diary of a Wimpy Kid, parang sulat kamay po yung font na ginamit. So, meron silang software na ginagamit po nila to create or to copy their own handwriting para pag nag-type sila, handwriting na yung font na gamit nila. So, kung mapapansin nyo din, there is a drawing dito po sa My Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and that is an example of a doodle. Kasi super simple lang ng drawing, pero part siya ng story. Another example of a doodle fiction is Timmy Failure by Stephen Pastis. So kung titingnan ninyo, same lang din. Gumagamit pa rin siya ng handwriting ng author, although some of its parts is written using the traditional font. Pero meron pong sulat kamay ng author. So basta meron kayo makitang ganon, that is automatically doodle fiction po. Next, we have text talk novels. So in text talk novels, these are stories told almost entirely in dialogue simulating social network changes. So kapag sinabi nating text talk novels, yung story niya ay sinusulat na mukhang dialogue lang or chat lang. So ganun po yung formatting nito. Sabi din dito, these are narratives that are usually presented in blog, email, and instant messaging format. So one example, para mas madali ninyong maintindihan kung ano yung text talk novel, is Vince, Kath, and James. So kung makikita ninyo on the middle picture, ganyan po yung format ng story nila. So nung naging sikat po yan or nag-viral po sa Facebook, ganyan po yung formatting ng mismong story. Before siya na-discover ng ABS, na ginawang libro, na ginawang film, ito po talaga, yan nasa gitnang picture, yung original na post from the Facebook post. So, ganyan po siya, simula ng story hanggang dulo, ganyan yung formatting nila, para siyang iMessage ng iPhone. Next naman, for the genres, we have chick lit or chick literature. These are often humorous and lighthearted fiction which addresses issues of modern womanhood. These are stories that may include romantic relationships, friendships, and issues in the workplace. It also generally targets young women readers. So question, meron po ba kayong napansin sa lahat po ng tinalakay natin on our first lesson na theme about women? Sige po, balikan lahat ng diniscuss natin in Philippine literary history. Di ba po wala? So now, on the 21st century, meron na pong tema, specific genre, para po sa pagdidiscuss ng buhay ng mga babae. So yun po yung chick lit or chick literature. Sabi dito, ang target niya ay mga young women readers because it tackles the life, it tackles the stories ng mga pinagdaanan or experiences ng mga babae. So, yun po yung para sa chick lit or chick literature. We have two examples here for chick lit or chick literature. First one is Started with a Kiss, and next is The Night Before Christmas. So, eto po yung dalawang examples ng stories. Next naman, we have flash fiction. These are stories that is narrated in an extremely brief way, but still offers plot and character development and implies a larger story. Could range from a word or to 1,000 words. So, yun po yung flash fiction. Another question, do you think, or what do you think is shorter? Is it a short story or is it a flash fiction? Sige nga po, pag-isipan muna. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you had answered flash fiction, then you are correct. Bakit po? Basing on the definition, flash fiction can range from a word. Ibig sabihin, kahit isang salita lang yan, that is called flash fiction, basta may kwento. Okay po. Kapag naman kasi 'di ba binigay nating definition in a short story, you can finish it in one sitting. So regardless of the word count, regardless kung ilang pages ba ang maubos mo sa short story na 'yan, if it is categorized as short story, yun na yun. Pero in flash fiction po, there is a limit. Kapag sumobra ka sa 1,000 words, hindi na siya flash fiction. Short story na siya. There are few varieties of flash fiction na nakadepende po sa word count. So, malaking factor yung word count in flash fiction na tatandaan nyo yun. First example is 6-word stories. So, these are stories told just by using 6 words. So, yun na yun. Huwag na natin pahirapan yung sarili natin. Next naman, we have dribble or mini saga, which has 50 words, to 80 character story or Twitterature. Yung Twitterature po are stories published in Twitter. Kaya nga Twitterature yung tawag sa kanya. And it is also known as 280 character story dahil po in Twitter, the tweets are limited into 280 characters lang. So, ibig sabihin, it all includes the letters, numbers, spaces, punctuations, lahat ng yun kasama sa bilang na 280 characters. Next naman, we have drabble or microfiction, which contains 100 words. Kapag naman po sudden fiction, meron siyang 750 words. And kapag naman po 751 to 1,000 words, that is called as flash fiction. So, yun po yung pinagkaiba-iba nila. We have 2 examples para po sa 6-word stories kasi fascinating ang kakayahan na magkwento just by using 6 words. So, for example, we have Ernest Hemingway's For Sale, Baby Shoes, Never Worn. So, siguro pag-usapan natin yung example nito or yung interpretation nyo dito once we get to discuss yung flash fiction and genres in face-to-face. Pero sige po, pag-isipan nyo muna ha kung ano yung pwedeng interpretation dito sa For Sale, Baby Shoes, Never Worn. Next, another example na dapat ninyong pag-isipan para po pag-discussion natin, kaya ko nang itanong sa inyo at may sagot na kayo. We have Margaret Atwood's Longed for Him, Got Him, Shit. So, yun po yung 6-word story ni Margaret Atwood na i-interpret ninyo. Okay po. Next, another genre is creative nonfiction. What is the definition for creative nonfiction? It is also known as literary nonfiction or narrative nonfiction. This literary piece uses styles and techniques to create factually accurate narratives. So, ano pong pinagkaiba nito, ma'am? Doon sa nonfiction na major literary genre. So, coming from the word itself or the title of this genre, meron siyang salitang creative. So, ibig sabihin po, you are writing a true story or a factually correct story pero in a creative way. So, halimbawa, gagamit kayo ng figures of speech, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, metaphor, simile. Kapag gumamit kayo nun in telling the story na totoo at wala kayong binago, that is creative nonfiction. What are the examples of creative nonfiction? We have 1,000 Gifts as well as Wind, Sand, and Stars. So, yun po yung examples natin. Next naman, science fiction. So, we have a genre of speculative fiction dealing with imaginative concepts such as futuristic science and technology, space travel, time travel, faster than light travel, parallel universe, and extraterrestrial life. It explores the potential of consequences of scientific and other innovations. It is also known as the literature of ideas. Bakit kaya among all of the other literary genres, ito lang yung tinatawag na literature of ideas? Maybe because science is all about the discovery of things, di ba po? So, ibig sabihin, when you're writing a science fiction, you need to create something that has never been discovered or created before. Kaya mas complicated, mas kailangan ng ideas, complex ideas, fresh ideas pagdating po sa science fiction. Minsan, in science fiction, kailangan po ng opinions and suggestions from experts, yung mga experts from scientific fields such as physicists, chemists. Kailangan po ng opinions nila for the story to be scientifically accurate, but at the same time, still, nandun pa rin yung fiction na bahagi ng stories. So, what are the examples for science fiction? We have Mockingjay and Kingdom of Ash. So, yan po yung examples ng science fiction. Next naman that we have is blog. So, it is a shortened form of weblog or weblog. It is a website containing short articles called posts that are updated regularly. Some blogs are written by one person containing his or her own opinions, interests, and experiences, while others are written by different people. So, yung blogs po, there are specific websites na nag-aalaw sa mga tao na magsulat ng mga blogs nila, articles nila, journals nila doon sa website na yon. Pero meron naman pong mga website na for one specific person lang. So, halimbawa, www.danielanicolas.com. So, yun yung blog site ko. Ibig sabihin po, binayaran ko yung domain na yon, yung site na yon, and ako lang po yung may kakayahan na mag-post doon sa website na yon. So, that is for blogs. Ano po ba yung usually content na isinusulat or inilalagay sa mga blogs? So, usually, blogs are dependent on the writer's opinions and experiences. So, yun po yung blogs. We have two examples of blog sites here. First one is si chrisuy.com by Chris Uy. So, kung hindi kayo familiar, Chris Uy is a well-known vlogger ngayon from Cebu. Siya din po yung asawa ni Slater Young, kung mas familiar kayo sa kanya. So, chrisuy.com is a blog site of Chris Uy way before mag-start siya mag-vlogging in YouTube or mag-transition siya into vlogging in YouTube. Kung bibisitahin niyo po yung kanyang blog site, makikita niyo po doon na categories or mga topics na dinidiscuss niya is fashion, beauty, lifestyle, travel, and food. So, yun yung mga dinidiscuss niya. Pero, since sabi ko nga, nag-transition na siya into being a vlogger, which is video logger, yung mga nakapost dito sa blog site niya is more on videos na lang. So, yung link ng YouTube videos niya, yun yung nandoon sa kanyang website or blogging site. Another example is Break My Style by Lorene Uy. So, si Lorene Uy po is the sister of Liz Uy, which is a celebrity stylist. So, yung kanya namang website is about styling din, more on fashion, beauty, travel, and such as. And kaibigan din siya ni Chris Uy. So, kagaya din ni Chris Uy, nag-transition na din kasi siya into being a vlogger in YouTube. So, video na yung kanyang ginagawa. And kung pupuntahan niyo yung site nilang dalawa ni Chris, wala na masyadong recent post na naka-vlog type. Ibig sabihin po, nakasulat. More on video formats na talaga sila. Next, that we have, or last genre that we have is hyperpoetry. It is a digital poetry that uses links and hypertext markup. It can either involve set of words, phrases, lines, etc. that are presented in variable order but sit on the page much as traditional poetry does, or it can contain parts of the poem that move and transform. In this genre naman po, these are still poems in the internet na merong mga words na highlighted na merong underscore or line sa ilalim na color blue. So kapag pinindot mo yung word na yon, lalabas po yung website, lalabas yung picture, lalabas yung audio recording video na connected doon sa mismong topic ng isang tula or nung tulang pinanggalingan mo. So in addition, yung hyperpoetry po is created or started on the mid-1980s and up until now, meron pa rin pong mga hyperpoetry sa internet. So sa internet lang talaga siya nag-a-appear kasi nga it requires the use of hypertext markup or yung mga HTM. So that is it for the genres. I am hoping na naintindihan ng lahat yung mga diniscuss natin, especially there are 12 different literary genres and I hope that I made it clear kung ano man yung mga differences nila sa isa't isa. So, ayun lang po. Thank you everyone and have a nice day.